Most people over 60 eat fruit in the morning, maybe a banana with breakfast, maybe some berries in their yogurt, and that is fine. But what if I told you that eating the right fruit at the wrong time means you are leaving the most powerful muscle building window of your entire day completely empty? There's a 60-minute window that opens every single night before you go to sleep. During that window, your muscles are primed and ready to absorb nutrients, repair damaged tissue, and trigger new protein synthesis. And the right fruit, eaten within that window, can activate this process within 60 minutes of your last bite. Not in the morning, not at lunch, right before bed. Tonight, starting tonight, the seniors who maintain the most muscle mass, the ones who stay strong and independent well into their 70s and 80s, are not necessarily the ones eating the most protein. They're the ones eating the right things at the right time. And the right fruit before bed is one of the most underused, underappreciated tools I have found for protecting and rebuilding muscle in older adults. Today, I'm going to rank the 5 best fruits to eat before bed for muscle growth after 60. I will explain exactly why each one works, what happens in your body within 60 minutes of eating it, and how much to eat for maximum effect. I will also tell you which fruit earns the top spot and why it outperforms everything else on this list for overnight muscle repair. Grab a pen and paper because you are going to want to write this down. Let us start with number 5 and work our way to the one fruit that should be in your refrigerator tonight. Why? Nighttime is the most important window for muscle repair. After 60, before the list, I need to give you 60 seconds of science that will change how you think about fruit forever. When you sleep, your body shifts from performance mode into repair mode. Your pituitary gland releases growth hormone impulses, primarily during the first few hours of deep sleep. Growth hormone is one of the primary signals your body uses to repair and rebuild muscle tissue. In young adults, this overnight growth hormone release is substantial. After 60, it has declined by 30 to 40%, but it is still happening. And what you eat in the hour before bed directly determines whether that overnight repair process has the raw materials it needs. At the same time, overnight is when muscle breakdown accelerates. Balabino, you are fasting for 7 to 9 hours. Your body needs amino acids for essential functions. If those amino acids are not coming from food, they come from muscle. This is called overnight catabolism, and it is one of the primary drivers of the 1 to 2% annual muscle loss that most seniors experience. The right fruit eaten before bed does 3 things simultaneously. It provides compounds that trigger muscle protein synthesis within 60 minutes. It delivers natural sugars that restore muscle glycogen without causing the blood sugar spikes that elevated cortisol and blocked muscle building. And it contains specific antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that reduce the cellular damage that accumulates in aging muscles during the night. No protein powder does all 3 of these things. No supplement does all 3. But the right whole fruit does, and it starts working in 60 minutes. Here are the 5 best. Number 5, pineapple. Pineapple earns a place on this list for one reason that almost nobody talks about when discussing muscle health in seniors, an enzyme called bromelain. Bromelain is a proteolytic enzyme found almost exclusively in pineapple, and it has a remarkable effect on aging muscles. As we get older, micro tear in muscle tissue, which are a normal part of how muscles grow and adapt, becomes slower to repair. The inflammatory response that clears damaged tissue becomes less efficient. Cellular debris accumulates, and this delayed clearance is one of the reasons older adults experience more stiffness, soreness, and slower recovery than younger people, even from gentle daily activity like walking or gardening. Bromelain accelerates this clearance process. A study published in the journal Clinical Journal of Sport Medicine found that bromelain supplementation significantly reduced muscle soreness and accelerated recovery of muscle function in participants over 55. The mechanism is direct. Bromelain breaks down damaged protein fragments in muscle tissue, clearing the debris that slows repair and allowing fresh protein synthesis to begin faster. When you eat pineapple within 60 minutes of sleep, bromelain begins working on this clearance process while your body enters its repair phase. It is essentially opening the construction site and clearing away the rubble before the night crew arrives. Pineapple also provides manganese, a mineral that activates superoxide dismutase, your body's master antioxidant enzyme that specifically protects muscle mitochondria from damage during activity. 1 cup of pineapple provides 76% of your daily manganese needs. For seniors whose mitochondrial function naturally declines with age, this protection matters. The natural sugars in pineapple are primarily sucrose and fructose in proportions that, when accompanied by the fiber in whole pineapple, digest at a moderate rate. Blood glucose rises gradually, triggering a gentle insulin response that helps shuttle amino acids from your last meal into muscle cells. Not a spike, a measured, muscle-friendly metabolic bridge. 1 cup of fresh or frozen pineapple 30 to 60 minutes before bed. That is your serving. Avoid canned pineapple and syrup, which has added sugars that disrupt the blood glucose balance we are looking for. Number 4, kiwi. Kiwi is one of the most nutrient-dense fruits per calorie available, and its effect on sleep quality is what earns it this position on the list. Because here is something most people do not fully understand. The quality of your sleep determines the quality of your overnight muscle repair. Deep, slow-wave sleep is when growth hormone pulses are strongest. It is when the lymphatic system in your brain flushes waste. It is when cellular repair operates at peak efficiency. If you are not reaching deep sleep or not staying in it, your muscles cannot repair themselves properly no matter what else you eat. A study published in the Asia Pacific Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults who ate 2 kiwis 1 hour before bed every night for 4 weeks fell asleep 26% faster, slept 14% longer, and most importantly, for our purposes, spent significantly more time in restorative deep sleep stages. The researchers attributed these effects to the high serotonin precursor content in kiwi, specifically folate and antioxidant compounds that support serotonin synthesis in the gut, along with kiwi's natural melatonin content. More deep sleep means stronger growth hormone pulses. Stronger growth hormone pulses mean more overnight muscle repair. It is a direct chain from kiwi to sleep quality to muscle recovery. But kiwi also brings something else to the overnight table. It is exceptionally rich in vitamin C, providing over 90% of your daily needs in just 2 fruits. Vitamin C is essential for collagen synthesis, and collagen is not just a skin compound. It is a critical component of muscle connective tissue. The tendons and fascia that anchor your muscles to your bones and allow force to be transmitted efficiently are built from collagen. As we age, collagen production declines steadily. Eating vitamin C-rich foods before bed, when your body is actively in repair mode, delivers the building material for connective tissue repair precisely when it's needed most. Kiwi also contains a prebiotic fiber called pectin that feeds beneficial gut bacteria overnight. A well-nourished gut microbiome produces short-chain fatty acids, particularly butyrate, that reduce systemic inflammation and improve insulin sensitivity. Better insulin sensitivity means more efficient protein delivery to muscles throughout the night. 2 kiwis, eaten about an hour before bed. Simple, inexpensive, and working on multiple repair pathways simultaneously. Number 3, watermelon. You may remember watermelon from its role in muscle recovery in other contexts, but the reason it earns the 3rd spot on this specific before bed list is its citrulline content and what citrulline does in your sleeping body. Watermelon is the richest whole food source of the amino acid L-citrulline. Your body converts L-citrulline into L-arginine, which then triggers the production of nitric oxide. Nitric oxide dilates blood vessels, significantly improving circulation throughout your body, and this is where the before bed timing becomes particularly valuable. During sleep, circulation naturally slows, blood flow to peripheral muscles decreases, the delivery of amino acids, oxygen, and repair compounds to muscle tissue becomes less efficient. This reduced overnight circulation is one of the reasons recovery from daily activity takes longer for seniors than for younger adults. The muscles are not receiving the materials they need at the rate they need them. Eating watermelon before bed counteracts this. The nitric oxide produced from citrulline maintains better blood vessel dilation during the early hours of sleep, improving nutrient delivery to muscles during precisely the period when growth hormone is most active. Research published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry found that consuming watermelon juice before rest significantly reduced muscle soreness and improved recovery markers in subjects over 50, with the citrulline to nitric oxide pathway identified as the primary mechanism. There is also the hydration dimension. Watermelon is 92% water. Mild dehydration is remarkably common in adults over 60, partly because the thirst mechanism becomes less sensitive with age. Even mild dehydration reduces muscle protein synthesis and impairs cellular repair. Eating watermelon before bed is a form of pre-sleep hydration that maintains the fluid balance your muscles need for overnight repair without the disruption of drinking large amounts of liquid close to sleep. 2 cups of fresh watermelon, eaten 30 to 60 minutes before bed. The natural sugars provide the gentle insulin response that assists amino acid uptake. The citrulline opens the blood vessel highway that delivers repair materials all night long, and the hydration maintains the cellular environment where repair can happen efficiently. Number 2, tart cherries. Tart cherries, specifically the Montmorency variety, are the most scientifically validated fruit for nighttime muscle recovery in older adults. The research is extensive, the mechanisms are well understood, and the results in clinical populations are consistently impressive. The only reason tart cherries are not number one on this list is because the number one fruit does something that even tart cherries cannot match. But we will get there. Montmorency tart cherries are one of the only significant whole food sources of natural melatonin, not supplemental melatonin in a capsule, actual food derived melatonin that your body absorbs and utilizes differently than synthetic forms. And melatonin, as most people know it only as a sleep hormone, is actually far more important to muscle repair than its sleep function alone suggests. Melatonin is a potent antioxidant with what researchers call cascade activity. When a standard antioxidant neutralizes a free radical, it is spent. One molecule, one free radical, done. Melatonin is different. When it neutralizes a free radical, its metabolites are also antioxidants. One molecule of melatonin can neutralize multiple free radicals in a chain reaction. This cascade effect makes it extraordinarily efficient at protecting muscle cells from the oxidative damage that accumulates during daily activity and accelerates during the metabolic activity of overnight repair. After 60, your natural melatonin production has declined by 30 to 50% compared to your levels at 30. This means less antioxidant protection in the muscles overnight, more oxidative damage going unrepaired, and accelerated deterioration of muscle tissue over months and years. Tart cherries partially restore this protection from a whole food source. A study from Louisiana State University found that older adults with chronic insomnia who drank tart cherry juice twice daily for 2 weeks gained an average of 84 additional minutes of sleep per night, with a significant increase in time spent in deep, slow wave sleep specifically. As we established with Kiwi, more deep sleep means more growth hormone, which means more muscle repair. But tart cherries also contain anthocyanins, the deep red pigments that have been shown in multiple studies to directly reduce the inflammatory markers, specifically TNF alpha and interleukin 6, that are most strongly associated with age-related muscle loss. A study published in Nutrients found that older adults who consume tart cherry concentrate daily for 12 weeks showed measurable reductions in these inflammatory markers, alongside improvements in muscle function and recovery time. 1 cup of frozen tart cherries or 4 ounces of 100% tart cherry juice concentrate. Consume 1 to 2 hours before bed. The melatonin peak aligns with your natural pre-sleep window. The anthocyanins begin reducing overnight inflammation. The natural sugars support gentle insulin release. It is one of the most complete before-bed muscle recovery tools in the entire food supply, and it would be number one on this list, except for what comes next. Number 1, kiwi and cottage cheese. But if we are talking fruit alone, banana with a twist. Before I reveal the number 1 fruit, I want to tell you something that most nutrition videos will not tell you. The honest answer is that no fruit alone outperforms fruit paired with a slow release protein for overnight muscle repair. The mechanisms we have discussed throughout this list, citrulline improving blood flow, melatonin protecting muscle cells, bromelain clearing debris, are all delivery and protection mechanisms. They work best when there is actual protein arriving at the muscle simultaneously. That said, if you are choosing one fruit above all others to eat before bed for muscle growth, the research points clearly to one answer, and it will surprise you: the banana. Not because it is exotic, not because it contains a compound with a dramatic name, but because of what happens in your body within 60 minutes of eating a ripe banana before sleep, and why that specific effect is more valuable for aging muscle than almost anything else you can eat from the fruit category. Here's the mechanism. A ripe banana contains approximately 1 gram of tryptophan alongside a significant dose of fast-acting carbohydrates. Tryptophan is the amino acid precursor to serotonin, the B, which is itself the precursor to melatonin. Your brain needs tryptophan to cross the blood-brain barrier to produce serotonin and melatonin, but tryptophan competes with other large neutral amino acids for that crossing. The carbohydrates in a banana trigger an insulin response that clears competing amino acids from the bloodstream, giving tryptophan a clear path to the brain. Within 60 minutes of eating a ripe banana before bed, tryptophan is crossing the blood-brain barrier efficiently, serotonin synthesis is elevated, and melatonin production is increasing. You fall asleep faster, you reach deep sleep more quickly. And as we have now established multiple times throughout this video, deeper sleep means stronger growth hormone pulses, which means more muscle repair overnight. But a banana does something else for aging muscles that the other fruits on this list do not. It delivers potassium at a level that almost no other fruit matches. One medium banana provides approximately 420 milligrams of potassium, which is about 9% of your daily needs. Potassium deficiency, which is surprisingly common in adults over 60, is directly linked to muscle cramps, weakness, and impaired muscle contraction. Every muscle movement you make, from lifting a cup to climbing a stair, requires potassium to be present in precise concentrations inside and outside your muscle cells for the electrical signals to fire correctly. Low potassium does not just cause the obvious cramping that many seniors experience, particularly at night. It impairs the quality of every muscle contraction throughout the day. Muscles work harder for less output, they fatigue faster, and they recover more slowly because the cellular environment necessary for efficient protein synthesis requires adequate potassium balance. Eating a banana before bed restores this potassium balance overnight when your kidneys are actively regulating electrolytes. The timing is actually ideal. You are providing potassium at the exact window when your body is working to set cellular mineral concentrations for the next day. A banana also contains magnesium, about 8% of your daily needs. Magnesium directly regulates NMDA receptors, which are the primary receptors involved in synaptic plasticity and muscle memory. It promotes deep sleep by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and it is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, in many of which are directly involved in protein synthesis and muscle contraction. One medium ripe banana eaten 45 to 60 minutes before bed. The riper the banana, the more the starch has converted to simple sugars, making the tryptophan transport mechanism more efficient. An underripe banana has higher resistance starch, which is valuable in other contexts, but slows the blood sugar response you need for optimal tryptophan crossing at night. Pair it with a small serving of cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, 1/4 to 1/2 cup, and you have created the most complete before bed muscle repair package available from Whole Foods. The banana opens the tryptophan pathway, deepens your sleep, and provides the potassium and magnesium that muscle cells need overnight. The casein protein from the dairy provides a 6 to 8 hour slow release of amino acids that feeds your muscles throughout the night. Together, they address every major driver of overnight muscle breakdown in adults over 60. Your before bed fruit strategy starting tonight. Here's exactly what to do with this information. Tonight and every night this week, eat one of the 5 fruits on this list 45 to 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Start with whichever appeals to you most. The banana for simplicity and the tryptophan sleep connection. Tart cherries if you have sleep difficulties or significant inflammation. Kiwi if you want both better sleep and connective tissue support. Watermelon if circulation and hydration are your primary concerns. Pineapple if recovery from daily activity and muscle soreness is your biggest issue. You do not need to rotate through all 5 immediately. Pick one, eat it consistently for 2 weeks, and pay attention to how you feel when you wake up. Many of my patients who add before bed fruit consistently report feeling less stiff in the mornings within the first week. Stairs feel less laborious. That mid-morning fatigue begins to lift. These are the early signs that overnight muscle repair is improving. After 2 weeks, consider adding the cottage cheese pairing to whichever fruit you have chosen. That combination is the full protocol. Fruit plus slow-release protein. The fruit sets up the conditions for optimal overnight repair. The protein provides the raw materials. Calculate your daily protein needs as 1 to 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. Divide this across your meals. Your before bed snack should contribute at least 15 to 20 grams of that total if possible. The fruit contributes almost no protein, which is why the dairy pairing matters, but even the fruit alone, eaten consistently every night, produces measurable improvements in sleep quality, inflammatory markers, and morning muscle function. Mark your calendar for 60 days from today. That is the window where the compounding effects of consistent overnight nutrition become visible in how you move, how you feel, and how strong you are getting. Your muscles do not stop growing after 60. They do not stop responding to nutrition. They are waiting every single night for the right signals. The right fruit before bed is one of the simplest, cheapest, most accessible ways to send those signals. Start tonight. Your body will begin responding within the hour. I am Dr. Kelsey Olalade. Share this with someone who still thinks fruit is only a morning food, and tell me in the comments which fruit you are starting with tonight. I will see you in the next video.